What's that?
Nick drove out to my house to give me money in cash.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, because they didn't pay me yet.
Wow. Hey, miss you too, brother Daryl. What's going on, man? Hope everything's going good out there. Yeah, I hear you, man. YRC next up. Next up the bat. You too, good brother. You too. Brother Norman, how you doing? Good morning, good morning. How's everybody doing this morning? Hope everybody's enjoying this broadcast. WOMLP 92.9 South Philadelphia Community Radio. Bring you another live edition of the 623 Lives Matter show. Everybody out in Radio Land, thank you for joining in. Everybody that's watching on Facebook Live, thank you for watching and tuning in. Appreciate all the texts, the messages, everything you guys have done, man. We really do appreciate the support. None of this would be possible if it weren't for the people that watch, listen every week. Thank you guys very, very much. This is what this is all about. It's all about the membership. All about the membership. Yesterday I put a post up. We want to continue to talk about education and then also tie in transparency into that. You guys know that this past negotiation cycle, there wasn't a lot of transparency in negotiations from the local level or the international level. It was basically a brownout per se, and the information was scarce and you know, they just did what they wanted to do. And then toward the end of the negotiations, then they just try to dump everything on us and make us make a rush decision on how we were going to take care of our families. So what we wanted to do was talk about that and how we could change that with new leadership. Now, in order to do that, you got to have leaders that are willing to do what is necessary to make their members comfortable and make their members understand that they are trustworthy. Now, the only way to do that, you got to be transparent in everything that you do. Now, the members are not going to like everything that you do, but if you're transparent in what you do, then there won't be any type of, you know, like, oh man, these guys are doing some shiesty stuff or any of those types of things. The way we feel right now, you know what I mean, is kind of why we feel like there's a lot of shiesty stuff going on. There's a lot of divisiveness going on. It's just a big divide, and a lot of it is because there is no transparency. You guys watched the excerpt of the show yesterday, It was a previous show that we did months ago while negotiations were going on. And in that show, we talked about why there was no transparency. Jumbo sits on the board, and he brought back a report saying what was going on that show. And if you guys remember that show, like I said, if you go back and you watch the video I put up yesterday, just a little short video, we asked, what did our principal officer have to go into battle with? What did he have? Did he have grievances? Did he have numbers? Did he have charge? According to Jumbo, he didn't have anything. And it was just like they was trying to keep what we have instead of gaining things. Because UPS gained, our officials gained, but of course we didn't gain anything. And when there's no transparency in the process, you don't know who to trust. And that's the big problem here. When you don't have transparency, you don't have trust. It's impossible. If I don't know what you're doing and I'm paying you, and then you bring me back nothing, then how can I trust you? What have you been doing? What are you doing? And that is a big issue here. Now, we talked about education last week, and it's a big stickler with me because an educated member is the biggest weapon the union has. The union cannot be beat if their members are educated on what's going on. Now, in order to know what's going on, the leadership has to be transparent. You have to tell your members, hey, look, this is what's going on. This is why the contract the way it is. This is why the proposals that we got failed. This is why the proposals that we do have, this is why they made it. There was a couple of supplements that I saw that were very transparent. I mean, I'm going to tell you something. These guys even went down to the point where they even told you the time that they were negotiating a certain article in their supplement. There was you didn't have to worry about what was going on. Even if you didn't like the fact that the supplement, the article didn't go through, you know why it didn't go through. You knew the time, you knew the date, you knew the place, you knew every single thing. So when it came time to negotiate, okay, Kissy, make sure you come down here next Wednesday. Next Wednesday at 11 o'clock. We're going to do the show next Wednesday at 11 o'clock. So I want you to be here. I want you to be here. I want you to tell the members how you feel about what's going on here and how transparency has affected you, or the lack of it, I should say. I think that would be great. So I'm letting you know now, next Wednesday, Kissy, next Wednesday at 11 a.m., all right? Again, back to what I was talking about with the transparency of some locals. I mean, these guys knew every single detail. Even like I said, even if you didn't like the supplement in this particular local, you knew everything from the very beginning. So you had time to make a better decision on how to take care of your life, of your family. Now, on our local, totally different. These guys waited. They waited. And everybody that remember, I want you to remember, this past July, this is when we found out that our pension troubles, right? And so they was able to use that in order to get a vote, a yes vote. And they told us that if you didn't vote yes the first time, UPS was going to take part of your raise and put it toward the pension. But they did not tell us, or they wasn't transparent enough to tell us why their pension was in trouble. I got you, Kissy. I got you. I will. And that's a problem. When you're talking about pensions or anything like that, we need to have transparency. Just like they put up the sheet that said you're going to lose this much money, there should have been a sheet also that said, hey, look, this is why the pension is in the situation it is. This is why we're telling you guys this information. That way, we can make a better decision. Because it was almost a gun was pointed to our head and say, look, if you don't do this, and when you have bad, weak, leaders like we do here, it trickles down into your thought process when it comes to how to vote. It really does. It really does. Because even some people was talking about it on our page. They said, okay, the contract is no good, but what faith do I have in my leaders to go back and fight for me to get something better? Number one, they're weak. They capitulate to the company, and they're not transparent. All those three things combined into one is going to lead to disaster in your membership. That's why we're in the situation we're in now. Transparency, transparency, transparency. That's why we came up with the bylaw amendment we came up with. In short, when you guys read it, when you see it, when we present it next month at the meeting, you have to have transparency, especially when you're taking somebody's money. When you're taking somebody's money, man, you gotta have transparency. You gotta have it, because if you don't have it, you're not going to gain trust from your membership. It's almost like a bank. You know what I mean? When you deposit your money in the bank, you gain more interest. You know, the more you take out, you know, of your bank account, the less money you have and the less you can do. Same way with transparency. The more transparency you put into your membership, the more trust you will gain from your membership. The less transparency you are, you begin to take that trust that they used to have for you, it starts to diminish. Pretty soon, they're not going to trust you. Pretty soon, you're going to have a negative balance, or you're going to be overdrawn like you do in you know, your bank. Then all of a sudden, man, they're going to want to leave banks and get another bank. Now, that's what we need to do here. We need to change banks. We need to change banks. These guys are not for us. Next year is a very, very important year. It's a historical year. I don't know if you guys look at our banner in our Ewing Hall. It says Teamsters Local 623, serving members since 1919. Next year is 2019. That's 100 years that our local has been in existence. We can actually do something to change the direction for the next 100 years. We could be the catalyst or the catapult to push us in a new direction. But it's going to take you guys to put all your frustrations, how you feel, everybody that wants to say something but don't know how to articulate it. You can put it on a piece of paper come next October, and let's get rid of the untransparent, the weak, partial leadership. That is the only way we're going to move forward. It doesn't get much easier than that. Everybody complains. I heard so much complaining from this year alone. Is about how we got to get them out of office. We got to do this. We got to do. I've had people that have been so close to them for so many years reach out to me on the verge of retirement, sending me messages and say, hey, look, Hooker, I got a couple years left. I've been a loyal supporter of these guys for many, many, many years, but they have not done the job. We need to get rid of them. That's fine and good, and I appreciate those messages. Honest to goodness, I do. God bless you. I love you. But put it on paper. Put it on paper. One thing is to tell me. One thing is to tell the rest of our guys. One thing is to talk about it among yourselves. But it's a whole different thing to put it on paper and bring it to fruition. That's the only way we can do it. I get it. I'm with you. I want them going too. But how are we going to do it? How are we going to? Got to vote. Got to vote them out. So again, education, transparency. Now, Hooker, how you guys going to be transparent? Well, we already started. You guys see what we're trying to do. We're trying to open up the negotiations for rank and file members to see exactly what's going on from day one to the day that we vote on our contracts. You already see, we are already doing the work before the election, before the position becomes available, like we always been doing. We don't wait and show up and try to do stuff when the election come around. We want to do stuff all year long because you don't need part-time leaders. Part-time leadership is what's killing us right now. You know what I mean? So what we got to do is vote new people in. Bottom line. Nothing personal. Nothing personal. I love those guys. I have no personal vendetta against nobody in this local. From Shanahan all the way down to the person who just got made book. I have no beef with nobody. We have no beef with nobody. We just want to move in a different direction. But the only way we're going to do that, you got to put it on paper. You already seen what we've been trying to do and what we've been doing. You gotta educate your members, and you have to be as transparent as possible. I mean, that's the only way that we can turn this thing around. And it's not going to happen overnight. We got to chip away at it, chip away at it, chip away at it until it gets done. But it has to get done soon, because we can't keep going down this road. We can't. We cannot. We can't afford to. Our families can afford to. UPS can afford to. They love it. They love it. They are just sitting back and saying they just running over our e-board. They do whatever they want to do. They know, the shop stewards are going to fight, but at that level, they know there's a level above the shop steward that's going to give them what they want. I talked to some shop stewards, I believe it was a couple of days ago. There's this whole issue of a member is on vacation during Christmas week. The company is trying to say, no, you have to come in on Christmas Eve. Now I'm on vacation. Why do I have to come in? You agreed to it. I agreed to it. I'm off. Our principal officer said, no, the company dictates you got to come in. And that's not leadership. You don't bend over backwards for the company. You bend over backwards for your members. They're the ones that's paying you. They're the ones that afford you the lifestyle that you're living. They're the ones that are paying for you to go and negotiate. We pay for transparency that we're not getting. We're paying for concessions that we don't deserve, and it just keeps happening. It's a cycle. And if we don't change it, I'm telling you guys, it's going to keep happening. So you guys got to make up in your mind today what you're going to do for these next 10 months. 10 months, you guys. That's all we got left. 10 months. 10 months to make a decision. It's going to be here before you know it. So you got to make it. I can't make it for you. Nobody on the 623 Lives Matter slate can make it for you. You have to make the decision today on what you want this local to be. What you want it to be. It can't keep going down like this. I mean, Supes do whatever they want. The Owlers are held hostage. And guess what's happening? Our e-board just sits back and let it happen. It's going to keep doing this until we make a decision. That decision has to be change. It has to be. It has to be. There's no other way. Like I said, it's not personal. It's business. You can't keep taking people money, not being transparent, not educating us on what's going on. You got members there who don't even realize that they have rights. They don't even know. They're paying for something they don't understand. They're paying for something they don't know about. And then when they get in trouble, they don't know what to do. They don't know who to reach out to. That falls back, not just the e-board though. It falls back on all of us. We all are brothers and sisters keeper. We have to look out for them. Even though whatever they do, we have to look out for our brothers and sisters. If not, we're going to all be like a sheep led to slaughter. You know what I mean? So, you're right, Reggie. The local needs to stop selling the members out. Man, they do. But, again, I was saying it on the Poor People's Economic and Human Rights show earlier. The Teamsters in general do not want our members to be educated. They want you to participate, but they don't want you to participate against anything that benefits them. They don't want you. They want you to be as dumb and blind and deaf as possible, so they can do whatever they want to do to you, because all they care about is your dues and your pension money that the company gets. That's all they care about. Now, you do have some leaders that care about the members, and we know them. We know them. We see them fight. We hear about them. So we know them, but there needs to be more. There needs to be more members like them, more leaders like that. And you guys heard me say this a whole lot of times, and I'm gonna say it again. We can complain about Hoffa. We can complain about our e-board here at 623 all we want to, until we show up and start chipping away at Hoffa's foundation, which is our e-board. And you guys got to keep this in perspective. Our e-board, the core group of our e-board has been in office just as long as our General President, Jimmy Hoffa. They have the same ideas. They have the same mechanisms. They have the same vision. Until we get rid of all of that, you will not see a change. That's why, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, there has been a lot of change in leadership in locals as of late. About 4 or 5 locals have changed leadership just like that. People are tired of the same old. They're tired of getting led, down the river. This is sad. So, again, you got to vote these guys out. We got to be transparent with our membership. We got to educate our membership, and we have to protect our membership. We have to protect them. They are paying for a service, and we are not getting it. I know, Will, and what we was talking about, 623 Lives Matter. What we've been talking about is this right here. We know people are not going to vote. We know that. So what do? You change the way you get what you need to win. For an example, in this last contract, only 33% of our membership voted. About 1,000, a little over 1,000 people. And it's going to be like that from now on. So what you got to do is you got to focus on the people that's been voting against their best interest or their own interest. So what we did was I took some advice that I heard in 2016. This brother told me, he said, Hooker, you're not going to beat those guys with 7 people. You're not going to beat them because they've been off for so long. People have gotten comfortable with them. So people don't like change. It's just not going to happen with 7 people. So what we did was we got about 15, 20 people that are helping us behind the scenes, gathering some information that what we need. Because when next year comes, I'm telling you, it's going to be a blaze. It's going to be nonstop. I know you guys are going to get tired of it. I know you're probably tired of it now. But listen, this is the only way that we're going to get change. We got about 20 people helping us behind the scenes, doing certain things for us. Because we have to flood our local with information about who we are, what we stand for, what the vision is, what we plan on doing, and the plan. And we can't do it by ourselves because we are at a disadvantage because they can go into any building and get ready. And for all those who don't know, in our local, the UPS barns, we have 4 total buildings. I know a lot of you guys don't know this. We have Oregon Avenue, the airport with Carthage. We have Air Service Center 1 and Air Service Center 2. And they're both downtown. I know a lot of people don't know that. So they can go any time of day, whatever the case may be, they can go hit those buildings. We can't because we got to work. you know, and then we can go and hit the gates. So we're kind of at a disadvantage. So what we did was we got people in those buildings helping us out. So they'll know, hey, look, 623 Lives Matter has been out here forever. We just didn't show up and say, hey, vote for us, vote for us. And now you know what we plan on doing. Okay, they plan on educating their members. Well, how they plan on doing that? Okay, you file a grievance, you're going to know every article that's implied to your situation. Before you file it, you're going to know that. You're going to know your rights. You're going to know everything as a Teamster should know. You're going to know that. Also, transparency. We already started that. Well, how did you start it? This bylaw amendment. Everybody needs to know how they're going to take care of their family. You can't rush people and making them make a decision on something that they know nothing about. You just tell them what you want them to know to fit your narrative to get the result that the IBT wanted, to get the result what our e-board wanted, and to get the result what UPS wanted. Well, what about what we wanted? It didn't happen. We're going to change all that. And the beauty of it is, because I know a lot of people are like, oh man, it's just political, this, that. No, the bylaw amendment is for everybody. It doesn't matter who's in office. They have to abide by this bylaw. And I'm going to explain it to you again. I'm going to give you the short version. Now, everybody that read it, you understand it's a whole process. But the short version is, whenever there is a contract negotiation, there will be rank and file members that will be there alongside of whoever in office to know exactly what's going on. Now, I'll present that at January's meeting, because in our current bylaws, whenever you want to make an amendment, you have to do it in the first meeting of the year, which is January. I'll present it, and you must have at least 7 members' signatures who are in good standing. We got way more than that. We got about 29, 30 pages full of signatures. So we done did that part. The next part is Shanahan, he's going to read it aloud in February's meeting, right? In March, he's going to read the bylaw amendment. In March meeting, after he reads it, then we'll take a vote. And 2/3 of the members that are present in the hall at that meeting will have to vote yes to get the bylaw implemented. And I'm quite sure that, you know, whether you vote for 623 Lives Matter or not, whatever the case may be, you need to know what's going on with your contract. Not when they get ready and tell you. None of this other stuff that they do. We need to know. Transparency is a must. It's a must, and we do not have it. The Teamsters are not transparent at all. Some locals are, this local isn't. But I heard a quote, and it said, those that have nothing to hide, hide nothing. What are you hiding? Why do we got to wait until the last moment to know what's going on in our contract? You know, what's happening? You know, these are the things that we have to work on. These are the things that we have to do in order to, you know, secure contracts. Contracts. That's how we take care of our family. The contract. That's how we fight the company. The contract. So you guys got to make a decision on how you want this thing to go out. What's going on, Espo? How you doing, brother? We have to get more involved. We have to get more educated, and our leaders have to be more transparent. So, Espo, what do you think about this issue of transparency? You know, as you've been here a little bit longer than I have you ever seen the local, or just the teams in general, have you ever seen it this untransparent?
I think it's always been this way.
Okay.
I don't think there's ever been a time where they haven't disclosed information, gone to enough union meetings to know that I've never ever seen them document how many grievances were filed,
Right.
how many grievances were resolved,
Right.
how the company's attacking the membership and what they've bargained for. They don't create a camaraderie around those particular topics,
Right.
which is what I think we all should be about,
Right.
you know?
Right.
Because as we protect ourselves from UPS by joining together, which is the purpose of being in a union.
Right.
Right?
Right.
That's what we need to, I can't remember the word right now. That's what we need to empower people with.
Right.
That idea, that hope, that dream, that when we stand side by side,
Right.
that wins. It doesn't lose,
Right.
it gains.
Right.
It's better off for you and your family because there'll be more full-time job openings because the younger members aren't going to sit there and have senior guys work for less because they want to get that full-time job to themselves one day.
Right.
They understand there's an opportunity for them to make $30+ an hour and not wait 18 years to get it.
Right.
You know,
Right.
not have the company abuse people like on a preload, work full-time but not give them the full-time wages. You know, and that's been going on ever since I've been down there, since '97 and before that.
Ooh.
So let's put this in perspective. Nobody should ever want to cheat another member,
Right.
but certain people try to protect people that cheat members. They cheat members because they don't want to go after UPS,
Right.
right?
Right.
Because I can't fault that guy for getting the time, right?
Mhm.
But I can fault for UPS for giving them that time and not posting a full-time job, which is what I should do. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because, as we all know, the pension fund needs contributions, and what are the way to get the contributions in there to make them and create them full-time
Right. Full-time
positions,
job. Right.
right?
Right.
At the appropriate wage scale that we already have established. You know, according to reports, UPS didn't offer 22 fours up. The union did.
Right.
So why would you create jobs that are going to pay less for what? Undermine the value of what guys already do? When a driver comes in and he works in a preload in the morning, is he now Article 22-4 classification because he worked in 2 different classifications in a day? You see,
Right.
it's about the concept of wages and how they're supposed to be earned. We own a classification. The type of work you do controls the classification, not when a job's made. It's the type of work that we do. Feeders, package cars, preloaders. These Article 22-3 jobs, when they brought them in, now they work multiple classifications of work.
Right. Right. Right.
And they're not getting, some are getting paid at the lowest rate that you can possibly get paid when you have the split raises.
Right.
The split wages,
Right.
right? That's a big deal. For
It
me,
is.
I've always been offended by that. I don't like it. I know that some of these guys will go out and get extra hours and they'll work for less. You know what I mean? They'll go out and they'll deliver the grounds after hours. These air drivers who work in the air job, and they won't get the ground rate for the entire day. It's a big deal.
It is. I was at Oregon Avenue not long ago, and the air driver was coming out he was coming out with, regular drivers. And we were talking about, yo, did you get the ground rate? He was like, no. Like, what do you mean? You was doing ground all day, right? Yeah. So why didn't you get the rate? He's like, well, I don't know. I don't want to cause no trouble. But that's the money that you owe. You know what I mean?
Where do people get off of the mentality they're causing trouble to get their appropriate pay?
Because it comes down. It trickles down from the top.
I'll tell you what happened.
You know what I mean?
'Cause I've seen it happen, right? And not say this happens right there for two.
Right.
If you ask for the right amount, I'm not giving you the hours.
Yeah,
Threat
that too.
comes to-
Right.
Threat. And I can tell you down at Oregon Avenue, it happens all the time, and people realized it and said, "All right, well, I'm not gonna make a wave because I'm gonna lose money."
Right.
UPS will find a way to work for less. Supervisors will work, and people will not get paid the appropriate wages and missed time, or be compensated for those hours where they could have been working full-time hours and get the full-time wages. They'll just use supervisors to cover.
Right. And I think that's where we need to be educated enough. Say, hey, no, you're not going to do that to me. And if your supervisor does work, I'm going to file the agreement. So some way or another, you're going to pay me. You're going to pay me. So I think that's why we need to.
I mean, I've seen, especially part-timers, are notorious for letting supervisors work with them,
Yeah.
right? Because maybe they got somewhere to go. And I understand you got somewhere to go. Let people know that maybe everybody will help out and pitch in. You know what I mean?
Right.
But what happens is when that happens, people lose. Like I've seen it firsthand a couple times that I've been down there in the Twilight operation. That there's a certain supervisor that we all know down there in the preload. She is also related to several union members or whatever, so everybody goes talking back and forth. But this supervisor continuously works. I've seen it. I've seen it happen. I've seen it down there while I was working. Told the shop steward down there that was happening. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I've never got called in early to go fill in those hours. I've been offered to come in and work.
Right.
I have been. I got with Rob, and he did make sure that did happen. But I told him, I said, the time I can come in is like 9 o'clock. I was like, I can't come in at 6:30 because I got stuff going on. There's dinner, and the kids come from school.
Yeah.
It's just not
Life. Yeah, you just can't do it. Right. Life happens.
There's
Yeah,
not all
yeah.
the hours I can get.
Right.
But if you want me to pitch in, I'll come in at 9. Just let me know. I'll come in as soon as I can get the chance. You know what I mean? I can make special accommodations during the course of the year a couple times, but it happens every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's happening every day. There's a need. So if every day there's a need, and UPS says, "Well, I can somehow get by
Right.
working people like like a machine," then I'm going to do it.
Right.
I'm going to squeak by
Right.
instead of trying to make a commitment to the on-time delivery and service to the customer. You know.
Right.
It's not about everybody working every second, the minute they're in there. It's about everybody developing a philosophy to get stuff wrapped up on time, right? And not feel like they're cheated at the end of the day when there's extra work or opportunity, and they know that it's going on, but they don't want to create waves, right?
Yeah.
Because they're fear somehow it's going to affect them. You know, they won't be told anything. That, you know, they'll be left out of certain things when they happen. You know, that kind of mentality seeps into a person. Whether it happens or not is a big different story, but. Once one person says one thing about hours or job or anything, the person's already had the fear has already struck in.
And that's how you
now they have to pay consequence for action.
Right.
If I do this,
this is what's going to happen.
Well, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Am I going to get rectification for what happens? I don't know.
And that's how UPS. That's how they do business with us. Fear. And I got on the way here. One of our members texted me from Oregon Avenue, and he wanted me to put this out there. UPS on the twilight and the midnight shift at Oregon Avenue are not doing the doubles for the rest of the week. And next week, they want to give the doubles for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, and that's it. So no more doubles this week, and then next week, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. They want me to let you guys know that.
So I take it that no supervisors will be working in the operation those days, and the shop stewards will take notice of this. And now you let me know that. I'm going to make sure I let Bill Shanahan know that, because I asked a question a couple weeks ago about this particular thing and about whether there's a full-time shift that the company was running. And magically this happened. So, not to knock it, if I did that to you guys, I'm very sorry. But it talks about Shanahan coming down there and laying the law down and saying, you know what? I'm taking stewards off the job, and I'm watching to make sure no supervisors touch the package. Because the member is now being deprived of work opportunity.
That's right.
Because we started, hey, listen, you got to do the right thing here.
Now, did
and
you
now
hear?
we're being retaliated against.
Right. Now, did you hear that Oregon Avenue is going to have a day sort?
It's coming. We've heard about it for the last 2-3 years that it will happen sometime in the future.
Yeah.
If it does happen, I want my job adjusted accordingly.
Yeah, I wonder how that would work. That would be pretty good.
I want my hours adjusted.
Right.
I want more favorite things. I have different issues, which some people know down at Oregon Avenue say, you know, working night work is not healthy for me. The doctor tells me it's not healthy for me, and if the hours go to day work, I want those hours.
Right.
Without a doubt. And I'm pretty sure there's many people down the airport
Yeah.
that will say, hey, wait a minute, you can work the front half of the preload and then go work a day sort.
Yep.
I'm in on that.
I agree.
Because it's very
sign
more
me up.
beneficial to our families.
It is.
It will be a very big thing.
Yeah, but so somebody, the same guy that told me about the whole thing with the twilight doubles and everything, was saying that there might be a day sort coming real soon. So that'd be pretty good. I'm hoping that happens. We'll see how that could.
I don't know what work are they going to staff this operation with.
Yeah.
I think that I've told supervisors in the past, I was like, with the amount of volume that Amazon does on a day-to-day basis, that they should have a day sort or whatever, or commit something that's a day sort type job, because they needed it, especially during Christmas time,
Yeah.
for the work that's there,
Yeah.
right? And especially if they automated the system and mixed it in with regular packages, it would be good for them, because there's work that obviously gets collected during the day. You know, not everything's collected 5 o'clock. Some businesses go out with more than multiple feeders in a day.
Right.
You know, it makes sense for UPS to get everything processed as quickly and early as possible so they can get it to its destination on time. It makes it easier for people to work inside the building. They don't have to kill themselves.
Yeah.
You know, last thing to do, I know when I used to, load trucks, all of a sudden you see a big surge come down and you're on the roll line where stuff falls on this side and that side, and they're asking you like, "Yo, clean this up and get the stuff off the roll line." Do it at the same time, and you can't do it. There's another person.
Right.
You need the other person there because one person's got to scan and one person's got to, hustle their heinies
Right.
to go throw it in the truck.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
They got to move. But if you teamwork together, make a plan, everybody usually works
Right.
out, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Sometimes it gets even a little heavier for the two people. You need two people behind you.
Right,
Because
right.
a person can scan way faster than
Then you can load.
than you can load.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, the person scanning is the guy that, he can zip it right down.
Right.
He's even pushing it down to the roll line. I've seen trucks get done in an hour, you know what I mean? Because the guy can zip through it so fast.
Right. Right.
I know my first year at Christmas, I was working a Lancaster truck and they had pups. And I think the amount of pups they did was 5. Five pups in the sort night.
Okay.
So say we started at, let's just say 10 o'clock
Mm.
and got done at 2:33.
Right.
5 trucks. So you're doing like a truck an hour.
Woo.
That was a lot.
Yeah.
The other Middletown truck, that was like a 40 footer, I think they were. And they would blow out like 3 trucks a night. That's the extent of what the air volume was back then. Before it, got broken apart and a much more broader system to handle the flow,
Right.
especially during Christmas time. UPS's time to shine is Christmas time.
Yeah.
'Cause everybody wants the packages on time.
On time.
On time.
I can live with it if you don't give it to me on in March, April. Okay, if things happen when it's Christmas, I gotta have it. Again, you're listening to WOMLP 92.9 FM, South Philadelphia Community Radio. Bring you another edition of 623 Lives Matter radio show. Again, thank you guys for listening. Don't forget, hey, listen, next year is a very big year. We only got about 2 weeks left till Christmas, about 3 weeks left in the year. So we're going to need everybody to make sure that you come out and support us any way you can. I know a lot of people are not as vocal, but all we ask you to do is make sure you put it on paper when the time is right. Like I said, 10 months is not a long way to go. It's not that long. It'll be here before you know it. And we need to make sure we do the right thing. Last week, we talked about education and how important that is. Transparency is just as equal. If your leaders are not transparent with you, then you can't trust them. And if they're not educating you, then you really don't know what's going on. So we really need to do a better job as not just the e-board, but us as members as well. We have an obligation to teach and reach out to our brothers and sisters and let them know what's going on, because if UPS can find a weakling, man, they will exploit that person, and next thing you know, the whole area starts to crumble. So we got to keep everybody lifted up and built up to handle what UPS tries to do. Like Esther was talking about earlier, UPS uses fear to get what they need done. That's what they use. And if you don't have an educated member, then he's going to fall prey to what UPS tries to do. And so we need to make sure that we educate our new members. And that's one of the things that, if we get elected, I'm going to stop saying if, I'm going to say when. When we get elected, we're going to have to make sure that we reach out to everybody, every member, but especially our newer members. They need to know who came before them. They need to know what's going to happen after them, and they need to know what's going on during their tenure as a Teamster. Being a Teamster is a great honor. A lot of great people came before us, and we need to honor their sacrifice. A lot of people died and fought and bled and everything else just for us to have what we have. It wasn't given to us. We had to work for it. And I think a lot of members, especially the younger members, they feel like they could just ride in and this stuff is going to be given to them. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that at all. You have to fight for every single thing that you have as a Teamster. They're not going to give it to you. especially these guys at UPS, they are not going to give you anything. And when we don't have the backing from your union officials, it becomes harder. That's why we need to do, as rank and file members, what we need to do and get new leadership, prepare ourselves, educate ourselves, and be straight up with one another. Listen, we're not going to like each other. We're not going to hang out, you know. But the one thing we got to do is when we're in those walls, we got to be united and we got to stand strong together. Listen, you don't have to like me. That's fine. That's fine. But what we do have to do is work together, fight together, not against each other, and support one another, especially when it comes against the company. I've said this before. I may not agree with our e-board, but if and Espo, you was there, they wanted to have the right to work rally.
Yeah.
Now, regardless of who's in office, right to work is going to affect. If it goes through, it's going to affect everybody. So, you know what we did? Myself, Espo, and others. We got on the bus with our officials and went to Harrisburg and we rallied and we screamed and hollered because that's what we need to do. You can put your differences aside and work together for anything that's going to affect everybody. Now, if you don't like your officials, then you know what you got to do. But when it comes to legislation and all these other things that affect unions in general, we got to fight. We got to fight together. Regardless of who, what, when, and where, we got to fight together. We have to. Because no union with this company we work for, it's curtains. It's curtains for us all. So, again, you know, also, we want you guys to listen every Saturday to our brother from Local 804, Brother Hector Fortis. They have an election. I think they count the ballots. That's for like 5 days or something? I think on the 20th. A week from today? What's the date? The 12th? 13th? I think they counted on the 20th. If I'm wrong, y'all research. I can't remember. I believe it's the 20th.
Yeah, today's the 12th.
Okay, so about 8 days, I think they count the ballots over there, 804. And again, like I told you guys earlier, the leadership is starting to change. We had about 4 or 5 locals that switched leaders in the last 2 months. So, excuse me. So people are starting to wake up and realize what's going on. Oh man.
I think too, real fast, the other thing that our locals should be aware of coming into the future, long term, and should be talked about at least quarterly with the membership, is self-driving trucks and technology replacing the bargaining unit. I saw something on Lexology. I passed it along to Hooker. I passed it along to Shanahan, and kind of, say, this is what they're talking about. I think at some point in time we get to read it a little better because it just happened yesterday. Right. That we'll discuss it further. But everybody's got to realize protecting the bargaining unit and the classifications within it is our job.
Right.
Make sure that we have a future here, that we can get a pension we can retire from because that's the retirement vehicle they've chosen for us. Mm-hmm. Make sure that is adequate for us in our future. Most of us here, including myself and Hooker and all the full-timers that, within our local and around UPS, within the next 10 years we'll be averaging $100,000 a year, right? Part-timers need to make $30,000 or $40,000 a year, if not $50,000 a year, to kind of be on par with what we're doing. And they need a retirement benefit or some kind of benefit for them that makes sense.
Right.
Makes sense. Because if you're going to get shorter continuously year after year, you better make sure you give me something worth of value. Right. For the years after I leave, you know what I mean? If I take a little less, give me something a little more over here that's going to give me value.
Right.
The healthcare sure isn't the value that it was.
True.
Especially for part-timers. We all have bills that are paying more, and I'm pretty sure they do and they use it, right?
Right.
So we need to make sure that the value of us together as a group stays at equal contribution levels for everybody, so we can get the benefits that we deserve.
Right.
They're always talking about making it an hourly rate. I think it should be just a direct contribution for everybody across the board that works at UPS. You know what I mean? So everybody understands it's equal together.
Right. I agree.
That's it.
But we're going to get ready to get out of here. And next week we got a special guest, a very, very vocal member. So be on the lookout. Our sister Kissy Thomas, everybody knows her. Very, very vocal. Doesn't hold back. I'm gonna have to tell her, be calm, because this is a church. So, you know what I mean. Keep the language, keep the language all right. So, but we love Kissy. Everybody knows her. She don't pull no punches. And I'm looking forward to that show next week. So again, we're going to get out of here. WOMLP 92.9, South Philadelphia Community Radio. Man. Ooh, I don't know what's going on. Give you another edition of the 623 Lives Matter radio show. Again, it's always a pleasure for us to bring you this show. Thank you guys for listening on the radio, for watching on Facebook Live. We love all the comments and everything that you send us. We appreciate it. For the members here, all we ask you to do is put it on paper in 10 months. It's good to complain. It's good to let your frustration out. But make sure when it's time to do the right thing, put it on paper. All right, we out of here. We love you guys. God bless. Have a good week. See you next week. 2 more weeks to Christmas. Make sure you get your gals and your homies and your friends, your loved ones, grandbabies, your nieces. Make sure you get them anything they want. But remember the true reason for the Christmas holiday, all right? And that's giving, all right? Have a good one. God bless. We love you. 623 Lives Matter.